What'd I miss?
We were just tiny!
It takes two to make a thing go right.
Hello everyone, it's Chris here. In this video, I'm going to be giving you my thoughts on Ant-Man and the Wasp, the third and final Marvel movie that we're going to be getting in the year of 2018, and of course the follow-up to Ant-Man. And Ant-Man, for me, is probably one of the most underrated Marvel movies, MCU movies that we've gotten. I mean, that's just a really well-done movie, but it's never in anyone's like top 5 or nothing like that. It's not in my top 5 either, but I just really enjoy the movie. It's close to being in my top 5. It's in like that 8 to 6 range, something like that. But yeah, Ant-Man was just really, it was a fun, just fresh, just enjoyable movie that I just really enjoyed watching. It's a lot of fun with the characters, the humor, the lighter touch. All of that was really good. And all of that comes back in Ant-Man and the Wasp. The story this time is that it's coming off the events of Civil War. Ant-Man, Scott Lang, he's under house arrest, but now a new discovery has Hope and Hank Pym come and needing Scott again to sort of solve this mystery about where is Hank's wife, the original Wasp, all that. We saw a tease of that in the original Ant-Man. And yeah, this movie, what's so good about it, or what's so enjoyable, is just the light approach it has, and meaning sort of the tone, the humor, all of that. It's just so funny. I was talking to my friends coming out the movie, and I was just saying, this is probably the funniest MCU movie that they've had so far. And I know we've had stuff like Guardians is really funny, and there's moments in Iron Man and the Avengers that's really funny, but this movie consistently, it's just really fun. It's really the first one that I think is really sort of like a flat out comedy. I mean, the goal of it is to just flat out entertain. Compared to something like Black Panther, which takes itself really seriously, even in Infinity War, even though Infinity War's got lots of humor in it, for the most part, especially when you get towards the end, it's taking itself really, really seriously. This movie is just really light and fresh in approach, and just the stuff they do with Ant-Man in terms of his size and whatnot. There's some really funny gags, like some stuff I'm not going to spoil, but like there's a scene in elementary school, something that happens with this suit that's just so funny. I was dying laughing at some of the stuff they had. And his friend Luis, I loved him in the first movie, and he was funny as hell again in this one. Just the stories he tells, just the way he talks, his friends. It's just so cool. And Ant-Man and the Wasp are a really cool duo, man. Paul Rudd and Evangeline Lilly are great in this movie. Their charisma, their chemistry, all of that. It's just a really cool sort of like romantic comedy between those two, and they're great heroes to watch. Wasp especially, she really gets to shine really well in this one. I loved her in this movie. She was a great character, along with Scott Lang. He was fun again as always. Just sort of his just some of his funny moments. It's really good. Paul Rudd, he brings some good humor to that role, and yeah, I think for the most part, all the humor landed, which is really surprising because this movie, like I said, it's really just nonstop humor going on in terms of just trying to make you laugh. And for me, all the gags really worked. There wasn't one where I was like, that joke. For me, it was a really funny movie. And another dynamic I'll bring up about this movie is the villain aspect. The villain that we've seen in the trailers is a character called Ghost. This woman that she can like phase in and out of things, just phase through objects and whatnot. And this continues something that Marvel's been doing really well, which is doing their villains good also. Because this villain, it's a really actually sympathetic villain. You understand what she's going through, and it's like you see her point of view really well, and you're like, you know what? I can sort of see sort of the suffering that she's going through. I can see why she's sort of going things the way that she goes, even though you're still rooting for Ant-Man and the Wasp. You still understand what Ghost is going through. So once again, the MCU does its villain a villain well, just like we've seen them done for the past maybe 5 or 6 movies or something like that. They used to have a really bad villain problem, but now they're doing well on that front. So that was good also. No real complaints from me in this movie. I think everything worked as intended. The only complaint I would have is just that, it's just not a movie that I think is perfect. I can't exactly pinpoint what I don't like. Maybe some story inconsistencies here and there, but I'm like really nitpicking there. This was a movie I really enjoyed. Really fun movie, another hit for Marvel, just a killer year for them. Black Panther, Infinity War, and now this movie. Like I said, the lighter approach is what makes this movie a lot of fun. So I'm going to give this movie an 8.5 out of 10. The first Ant-Man I gave an 8 out of 10. This one I thought was an improvement, really good, and it's in that sort of it's definitely in the upper half of MCU movies. I'll come out with a video where I'm going to do my MCU rankings now that we have all of the movies that have been released this year, so we can sort of have a nice MCU rankings video before more movies come out next year. But this was another good hit for Marvel. Now, something that I wish I mentioned in my at the beginning of this video is that this was obviously a non-spoiler review. This movie, though, I I'm not going to do a spoiler review just dedicated for this movie, but what I will say is that right now I'm going to get into spoilers for what happens in this movie. And mainly what I'm talking about is the end credit scene, the post credit scenes. So if you have not seen the movie and you don't want to be spoiled, step away from your laptop, from this video right now. Just go away because go see the movie and prepare to have a really just whoa moment when you watch those post credit scenes. So this part of the video is really only for people that have seen the movie or just don't give a shit about spoilers. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You've been warned. Let's go. Okay, that mid-credit scene. Holy shit. Now going into this movie, I knew that it took place before Infinity War. That announcement came shortly after Infinity War came out. It said Ant-Man and the Wasp was going to be taking place before Infinity War, which made sense because the whole time I was wondering, Ant-Man and the Wasp releasing after Infinity War, how the hell are you going to have all this big shit in Infinity War happening, and yet this movie, is it going to take place afterwards? That just wouldn't make much sense. But no, it takes place before Infinity War. So most people knew that going in. And so we all expected the ending. It's got to tie into Infinity War. Like, what's going on? Mainly, what characters are going to end up getting, dusted from that Thanos' snap at the end of Infinity War. And so we get to the post-credit scene. Scott Lang, he's going into the quantum realm to get more energy to heal Ghost. Like I said, full on spoilers right here. To cure Ghost, because that's how Wasp, she had energy from the quantum realm that could cure Ghost, but now they're going in to get more. And so Scott's in the quantum realm. Hank, original Wasp, and Hope, they're outside, just sort of like communicating him with whatnot. Scott goes into the quantum realm, gets the energy, and then he's communicating back to them. He doesn't hear nothing. And then just silence. And he's like, what the hell's going on? The camera cuts to the outside with Hank, Hope, and original Wasp. All three of them, you just see dust in their place. All three of them got dusted. And it's just like, oh man, I shouted I was saying in the theater, oh shit, they got all three. And it's a really sad moment. Just because the movie, like I said, is really light in approach, really funny, just like a feel-good movie. Then you get to this ending, it's like, holy shit, this is a big heel turn right there. And I sort of knew it was going to go in that direction. It had to tie into Infinity War somehow. But the way they did it here was like, whoa. Very effective ending, though. Really effective. The one thing that is disappointing, I did want to see Hope be a part of the new Avengers 4 team. Her get a chance to shine along against side with Ant-Man. So it is disappointing in that aspect because I really enjoy Hope and I wanted to see her part of the team. Now it looks like the team of heroes we got are the original Avengers. Now the new ones that are gonna, the ones that, and then the other ones that survived the snap: Nebula, Rocket, War Machine, and I guess the two main newcomers we got coming in are Ant-Man and Captain Marvel. So interesting little team right there. We'll see how things go there. But yeah, really effective tie into Infinity War with those post-credit scenes. Really just super cool. So that's pretty much all there is to talk about in the spoiler section here. Oh, and then that was the mid-credit scene. The other actual end credit scene, it looked like it was going to be something serious because they just showed like TV screens blank and then just San Francisco deserted. And it just cuts to that ant playing the drums. And it's like, got me again, Marvel. Because sometimes Marvel's post-credit scenes, they can just be like a little joke, which, whatever. But yeah, that's all there is to talk about in this spoiler section right here. Well, once again, for a refresh, 8.5 out of 10 for Ant-Man and the Wasp. Hope y'all enjoyed this review, my thoughts, and I'll see y'all around with another video.